man, it's looking kind of sketchy out here. But regardless, we got to be consistent. You know what day it is. It's Thursday, right? You know what we do on Thursday. While this one is over here barking, Dog Walk Thursdays. Yes, it is. Did you get him, girl? Did you get him? Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? You ready to go bye-bye? You ready to go bye-bye? All right. I got your harness. All right. You ready to go? Okay. Come sit down. Come sit down. Thank you. All right. We are off. My lady decided to join me this week. We got to try to get this walk done because it's supposed to rain in about 30 minutes. Said at 7 o'clock. So we got to get her walk done. And I got to get this yard mowed, man. Look at that. Ugh. It's terrible. What you doing? Well, we are changing our regular route. The lady wanted to be a little spontaneous and extend this for a little bit. Plus this one, she never been over here on this side. So we switching it up a little bit, add a little bit of variety. But anyways, I think I'm going to call this week's Dog Walk Thursdays Control. And the reason why I'm labeling this control because I had a conversation with one of my homies yesterday, and it was a pretty good conversation. See, when you have a difference of opinion when it comes to certain topics with your friends, your family, neighbors, anybody, you can still have good discourse and you can still be cool with people. Even if your ideas or ideals or your thoughts and opinions about things don't align with each other. Because at the end of the day, we are adults, right? And we are not children. So just because I might agree with something and you don't agree with something, don't mean that we can't be cool. That don't mean that we can't be respectful towards one another. But anyways, so I haven't seen, one of my homies in a while. And we were catching up. And I didn't realize that when we were talking, this person wasn't, following me on Instagram. Because she was asking me questions about, like, my son and stuff. And everybody knows that I post on Instagram. And I'm like, you ain't seen my Instagram stories or whatever? She's like, no. I'm like, why not? She's like, because I deleted Instagram. And I was like, really? She was like, yeah, I'm done with social media. And I'm like, how come? She's like, because I'm sick of, this whole Trump stuff that he got going on. And it, me. I'm a Trump supporter, right? So I got curious and I asked, what do you mean? What about Trump? She's like, well, he's racist. I'm like, how's he racist? She's like, because of his immigration policies. And I'm like, well, do you not think that people who came over here illegally should not be detained and sent back to where they came from? And then she's like, well, it's not that big of a deal. And I'm like, well, it is a big deal because these people are not being accounted for. And you were just complaining as well about our economy. So that anytime somebody comes over here illegally, it does affect our economy. And you were just complaining about it. I said, did you know that these people who did not come to our country legally, they're getting government assistance? Do you think that's right? Do you think you should use your tax dollars to... Come on, girl. Hey, stop. Anyways, she over here trying to start stuff. Look at her. Come on, crazy dog. But anyways, so we continued the conversation, and she didn't look at it from that perspective. She's like, well, I guess so. I said, because you can't come to other people's country without, taking the proper protocols. So what's wrong with that? She's like, okay, I get it. And then she's like, well, what about these tariffs? everything's expensive. And I had to explain to her about the tariffs and how we have been getting taxed by all of these countries and getting finessed by all of these countries for a very long time. And finally, we have a president that had a set of balls to stand up to China, Europe, Mexico, Canada, to level the playing field as far as how we trade. She didn't even know that some countries won't even take in any of our goods and services, but yet we're taking in theirs and we're getting taxed as well on top of that. So once I broke that down, she was like, dang, I didn't know that. But then we got to the juicy stuff, right? The blackety black stuff. And we started talking about the struggle and how it's so hard for us to get ahead. And she didn't like the fact that, they're trying to get away with removing Black history or some bullshit like that, right? And I don't know nothing about all of that. But what I did say is, look, at what point are we going to stop centering a lot of our excuses, reasonings, our crutches on things that happen to not us, but our ancestors, right? Because we love to talk about how we were oppressed and how we're still being oppressed. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I was born in 1985, right? I am a millennial. Now, I will tell you this. I have never felt oppressed in my entire life. And this is why I labeled it control. Because when we were going back and forth about these issues, right? People, getting all of these advantages over us, and, Asians got, some form of reparations and all of this. And I'm like, well, when you are the loser, which we were, we got conquered, we got placed into bondage, into slavery, we were the losers. I know that it's hard to, digest, guys, but you don't dictate the terms on how your oppressors are supposed to do things. We lost. And the biggest thing that made her think is this: we emphasize all of this crap about, what white people did to us, but we do not scrutinize the same people that look like us who sold us to the white man. Why don't we have that discussion? Those are the people that we really should be pointing at. Because if you know really anything about the history, this stuff was more about capitalism than anything else, guys. It really was. And my dog is just wrapping me up. Look, Jesus. Anyways, but sorry, she's trying to wrap me up again. But anyways, so I told her, like, look, at what point are we going to stop putting so much energy towards what happened to our ancestors that didn't happen to us? And I don't care what anybody says. Y'all can sit here and talk about, well, we're still going through the struggle. No, you're not. You have more control over your decisions, over your life, the way that you choose to live, even the money that you make in 2025 more than ever before. If you want to choose to be a victim, that's 100% on you. But there is nothing, and I said 2024, I think, I hope I didn't, 2025. I said 2024, my bad. But in 2025, there's nothing stopping you from anything. Your decisions is probably what's keeping you at a disadvantage. The people that you're hanging around with that low vibrational thinking is probably keeping you at a disadvantage. Bad decision making is putting you in a disadvantage. Living above your means puts you in a disadvantage. Not wanting to apply yourself and work on becoming the best version of yourself keeps you at a disadvantage. And when I brought that to her attention, she was like, hey, I didn't look at it from this perspective. And I think, guys, look, when we are trying to deprogram some of our friends, family, it could be a co-worker, anybody, right? That you have mutual respect for. You got to be patient with them because some of them just don't know, because even though they have access to the information, it's hard to change mindsets with some people. But you can't get frustrated. You can't get into defense mode. You just have to talk to them like you actually give a shit, right? And that'll resonate with them, and they won't feel like you are attacking them. Because some people just lack understanding. They're just ignorant. They just don't know, right? So remember, guys, you have control over everything in your life. It's your decisions that you make every single day that dictate what your results are. Think about it, all right? I'm going to finish walking. I'm hungry as hell too, man. And I already felt a sprinkle. So we're going to hurry up and get to the house. They're going to, and then here we go with this dog again. But anyways, man, same neighbor. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll catch y'all later. Peace.